Hello there and welcome. Let's just stop you and press U. And obviously nothing's showing yet because I haven't actually fully maximized the game. But there we are. You should hear and see Automobilista 2. And I'm getting ready right here. We are ready to rock and roll. Indeed we are. We have just finished the free practice where I, quite frankly, luckily eked out a fastest time. We saw how it went up in Canada. Didn't go superbly well. 2 DNFs. We still somehow managed to take the world champion, not the world, but the championship lead. And qualifying, the 10-minute session is starting out again as wet. Let us lower the fuel in the car right out the gate. So this is interesting. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway then. And the quick fire 10-minute session that will see us set the grid for the race 1. And it'll be a wet qualifying. That obviously isn't superbly helpful in terms of having a steady drive. But remember, speed limit's very high in this thing. So off the limiter we go, and you just got to make it through here. So 2 races of 21 laps on a Wednesday evening after work. What better way, eh? What better way? Yes. I am back at work this week. And I've concluded that work is a horrible construct that must be abolished immediately. Just again, like any job really, you just feel like that when you return after 3 weeks away, as I've just had. And yeah, like first time I'm trying this in the winter, so it's dark when I wake up, dark when I get to work, dark when I leave work, dark when I get home now. It's awful. How was I ever able to function? The good thing is, after this week I will have another 2 weeks off, so that's a positive. Downside is, whoa, coming in a bit hot here. Okay, let's be tactical here, because I'm just driving whilst I'm talking. And we need to have a gap in front of us. So I might want to let Andreas Buchstaller through here and drop back off him. So we have a gap. Down here we've got Johannes Solomon behind us. And then we've got our championship second place sitter. Our championship chaser, if we will, down the next car behind, Johnny Cecotto, who must also have had a shocking round in Montreal. But we are just 1 point apart. And we just need to bridge the gap here now. But now that we're out of the final corner, we actually need to be on it now. We can't back off here. Because this is a pretty full run to the line. Because we had the bus stop. Now we got the run. NASCAR turn 3, NASCAR turn 4. Down here on the run down to the tri-oval. You're flat out. Run. And you take the line. And here starts our first time lap. Oh, it's fruity. Bit too sideways there. But I think I've got a good balance now for the diff. When it's not wet, it's fairly planted actually. And I've just upbraked myself there. But the good thing about wet conditions is penalties aren't as bad. Well, consequences for a mistake like that isn't as severe here in the wet. Because everybody's likely to just be off it a bit. But I will crack on with this opening lap down here. Oh, ABS not happy with me. ABS is actually really complaining to me. Sliding the rear. It's alright, it's qualifying. We're on wet. They've got decent temperature in them. And see, now we close the gap up here to Buchstaller. Buchstaller is probably the correct way because it's not SCH. Oh, it's a bit twitchy there. But there we are on NASCAR turns 1. Because apparently you've got to have 4 corners even though there's only 2. Yes. Confuses me as well. But we'll come through here. Down off the high banks. On the run to the bus stop. See that sign? Tap the brakes. Down to 4th. Down to third. Oh, it's sliding. I've got a good run through. We're right up on Burgstaller here. Just a bit twitchy on the exit, but otherwise we were pretty much on it there. Oh, we might be able to just pass this dude. We might just get him on the run here. No, 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 indeed not. Now, this is qualifying. We'll just have to wait and see what the time is here, but we just got to go pull out of there. Some slipstreaming. Oh, it's all over the road. We're off white. Sliding sideways, still sliding. There we go. Now it relaxed a bit. We are in first place. Positive. Let's follow Kurt here. Always a good guy to follow. And Armin Hane and Chris Nissen. Currently in 20th. That's fruity. That might be a disallowed time. Yep. And we run wide here. So we need to build a gap again for our next run, which may be the final run. Let's just move over here. Come on, Burgstaller. Through you go. Thank you. I do apologise for that. It's not sensible to make contact doing qualify. Oh, slidey boy. Slidey boy. Yep. No petrol really in the back, so that is also a thing to keep in mind. But yeah, we want to get Burgstaller a bit away from us here. And we want to drop back towards Chicotto. And then once we finish this next lap, it'll pretty much be all over for us. But we'll at the very least know roughly where we'll stack up, unless the track improves tremendously, which it might. It is raining, and the more we run, the drier line will develop. And that's always a good... Whoa, easy go. There we go, got some temperature in the rear, so that's my excuse. Got a good line here, fall off the banking. It is banked. Very banked. It's not Abadabba banked or Jeddah banked. It's a proper bank. See, somebody told me one of the corners at Abadabba was banked. I didn't see that, but I could be wrong. Anyway, here we go. Lift, brake, just lifting a bit early, just to give myself a bit more wiggle room. We're off massively wide here. Yep, power slide. That's not a good. First corner, missed the gear, as usual. Let's run through. And then down here again, let's not be out wide. Let's try and go for the racing line. Are we pushing too hard there, understeering off? That's the product of my impatience and why I'm never any good in qualifying. I much prefer longer races. That's one of the interesting points about this. Is a short, shooty bang race like this. It's very different because I like the whole long race distance thing. So, oh dear. But we're looking good for pole right now. Providing, of course, yeah, I mean, we absolutely balls this up. Something fierce, haven't we? So, yeah, I reckon we might get another lap after this. But that will be the crucial thing really to see. If we will. Also, I've been a very, very lazy boy this week and not been for a run, which is very bad. But, you know, back to work and all that. Got to have my focus elsewhere. But I need to do that tomorrow. What am I doing? I'm going to be off here wide. Massively wide. That would be a ping. So we should at the very least get another lap in. So let's go for this. Drop it down, run through. That's all good. So far so good. We'll get another quick lap in. Oh, Stucky's gone past Chicotto. Fantastic. That'll hold him up. Stucky, my teammate. Behind the fence. Let's see, this time we're balancing it in. Struggling a bit mid-corner, turn 2. Struggling there. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's actually really going wrong. Let's just wrap up this session. Now click return to pit box, not restart the session. Oh yeah, look at that massive lead. How did I do that? Anyway, yes, so strategy needs to be the first order of the day. Oh, this is fruity. This is very fruity. It says the surface is wet, but it's only overcast. That's interesting. We will be starting on wet, but our pitch strategy, let's just go to that we set up the last time. So slicks going on. We definitely don't need that much fuel. How much fuel do we have in the car right now? Damage is, yes, pretty much all we need it down there to save you. How much fuel is in the car at the moment? It's 6 laps, so we need to make sure. So 6, so we need to get up to 11. Is that enough? We've done 21. I can't do head numbers. So 6 plus 11. No, we need to have it up to... Let's just do 16, 51 litres. So we have 6 laps to go on the wet tyres, and we'll pit for a set of slicks. What we also want to do, just drop brake pressure down to about 85%. Oh, now it says damp. It's just updated the track wetness. I'm going to be a bold boy. I'm going to be very bold. I'm going to go for slicks. And then what we're going to do is put in 10 laps of fuel. So we click done, and then we edit the pitch strategy to reflect this. So fuel wise, we're not taking on that. What we are taking on is 37 litres. So it's a bit closer now. And then tyre wise, change tyres. Let's just go with none, because quite frankly there's no reason to, so we'll just stop for the fuel right here. Yes, that will be the plan right now. So let's get ready to rock and roll. It is me on Paul, Klaus Ludwig, Bernd Schneider, Keke Rosberg, Emanuel Pira, Hans-Joachim Stöck, Roland Asch, Steve Soper, Walter Roll, and Alain Cadini, our teammate that drives the same car as me. But here we are on the... Whoa, that doesn't work. Standing starts really doesn't work at Daytona, guys. Hot tip, don't do standing starts at Daytona. Wait, hello. So, ultimately not an ideal opening sector there. But we now know we can't do standing starts on an oval. Good to know. Good to know information we're learning right here. So we'll see down here where we are. We're down in 7th. We've got Steve Soper all our rear end. We've got Wall and Ash in front of us. Ash, my voice broke there. And then it's Stucky. Guten Tag, Stucky. Wait. Yes, we grab Roland. Oh, Roland's going for it. Roland's going for a gap that clearly isn't there. But see, it's only that moisture there that's really catching me out now. Although that did push me out wide, but we're just dipping right behind Roland here. Get a run home with him. Put the wipers on just to help us out. It is a bit of a culture shock seeing a car like this at a circuit like this. We're locking. Definitely a good idea to take off some of that brake pressure. So 6th position as we come through Speedway turn 3, NASCAR turn 3. Oh, here we go. You got a curl on the inside. Inside. Still there on the inside. Clear on the inside. Bump drafting. Daytona style, yeah, boy. Yeah, rolling. Let's not bump draft road on Ash. He's not on our team. Stucky is. I do apologise, Stucky. Awfully sorry. That was... I mean, that's very touring car of me right there, accidentally taking out my teammate. But that is not what we want to be doing. Don't want to be running off there. Guten Tag, mein Herrn, or evening, Steve. How are you doing, mate? Have a bash with Walter Royal of rallying fame. So we're back up with Roland. We're up the inside of Roland. Where's Johnny Chicotto? He must have dropped back. Yes, because it's Bernd Schneider in the lead. And again, it's pretty much a Mercedes whitewash. Only Emanuele Pirro are at the front. Don't know why I said that in German. He's Italian. Good old Emanuele. Now among other things, an FIA steward. Coming down here. Roland's looking down my inside, but we'll just ride the curb through the bus stop. Ciao, Emanuele. How NASCAR is this? Proper restrictor plate racing right here. Oh yes, Merc BMW restrictor plate racing at Daytona, as we've seen many times in history. Oh, nearly 3 wide in the tri-oval. So we've connected with the leaders. Running right here on lap 3. So we're now in a good position. We've got somebody on our outside. Oh, we slid a bit there. We had to slot in behind. Oh, contact! Oh, that's bad. Bernd Schneider just did a Schumacher on me. So, status. I think there's some slight steering damage. Well, suspension damage, really, because you don't steer with your rear tyres. But, it's livable. But I'll remember that, Schneider. There's some clips from YouTube, from Macau, where he is driving, I don't recall if it is the Sonax car, but it is certainly a 190 EVA 2, and he absolutely stuffs it hard in the tyre barriers. Gee whiz. So that's easiest drop, 4 seconds off Schneider. 2 seconds behind Roland Asch at the moment. We'll close the gap to him first of all. God, I can even feel it now talking that I haven't been out running. Definitely need to do that tomorrow. Don't be a lazy fucker tomorrow, mate. We've got to train for the VIR 500. The Watkins Glen 1000. And the Berg Lakefront 600. That's a 600, right? Yeah, it is. That's my Gold Coast. Ooh, the leaders are going in. I'm going a lap longer. I'm going to hold out here. I'm going to see if I can't jump these guys in the pits. Just so one clear lap might do it for me. Just lift a bit early, just scrape on that speed up by coming in here. Significantly easier to drive in the drive. Oh, don't slide it. But see how much planted the car is. Obviously, there's a bit of steering, suspension damage on the rear. Let's just focus now. Get through this lap very quickly. It's a very difficult one to break for this one. Whoops, don't do that again, of course, but run up high, I think, and then let it fall down off the track right here. Build momentum, use gravity. I think might be a sensible idea, but I am talking out my arse when it comes to ovals. I have to say, I don't know a lot about it. I have no particular interest in doing ovals, proper ovals. Okay. Okay, I want to pit, guys. Well, I'm coming in, so you better be ready for me, boy. I'm actually coming in. No, I'm not coming in hot. Why is Chris Nielsen facing the wrong way? He's had a big moment coming into the pits. So here we go. They're putting in the fuel. Chris Nielsen's just reversed past me in the pit lane on the inside. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that repair's actually taken quite a long while. That's going to cost me. But at the very least, it's going to even it out in terms of tyre changes, because I think this might take about the same. Oh dear, Chris, what are you doing? What a dumbo. Cheers, mate, you just killed me car controller there. Absolutely crushed his legs. Just what we need to see. Drop me. I'm ready to go, boys. So that's our stop done. We've got enough fuel in the car to make it to the end. All is happy. We'll just see where we are. They've taken us still. Let's stop. It hurt us for those changes. But we're on it now. Besides, I needed to sort of cover myself here against the guys I'm racing. As the old Formula 1 pit the lap after the other to get a jump. Hasn't worked, of course. That was too fast in. See, that's so cool. I like that about Daytona. And I saw that, like, the first time I really kind of saw that was Jacob, GP Laps. When he did the Daytona race early on this year, the historic one he did, was just seeing those cars up there, and it's such a cool sight. Well, let's see if we can close this gap to Roland Ash, Steve Soper and Ellen Law, although again, things are a bit up in the air right now in terms of real position and strategy and whatnot. Weather, of course, we've seen that play a hand. So, going for a gear that isn't there, well, it's not like I'm Ayrton Senna. And I've absolutely buggered this up. And that's going to end really badly because I was trying to adjust my strategy. Yep. See, that's the old adjusting your strategy and then getting it all wrong. I was wanting to set up my strategy so we were ready in case it rained, and then I did that because I'm an idiot. When do I learn? Never is the answer. Never in a million years will I learn, but we'll stick it through. Why is Chris Nielsen now out here reversing in the tri-oval? Are we sure he's up? Whoa, it's a handful to drive now. It's really a handful. But we will finish up higher. We might be able to bag more points. That's kind of the game here, to get points. I mean, a race win would be nice. Podium would be nice, but what we really want to focus on is points. And as people pit, we should start to climb up. Although not if we spin, because we've got massive suspension damage, of course. So these next 15 laps or so are going to be a bit of a struggle. But it was my own fault, really, for messing with strategy when I didn't need to. It's just one of those things nice to have sorted and out of the way should the weather come. Besides, we'll learn something about how the car is to drive here with a bit of suspension damage. And it might all be useful for us down the line. Is Chris Nissen still sitting on the track? Or has he now found a much better place to be? He's not out on circuit, that's a positive. Oh yes he is! I reckon with this bit of suspension damage we need to be a bit gentle with the inputs. So it will be interesting to see when people pit. I suspect far from everyone spin in. It's only lap 7. We've got Johannes Sommen, then Roland Ash, Steve Soper in front of us. And while they do have a significant lead, they were the guys we were battling prior to pitting and having whoopsies. And there's nothing to say that we can't try and close a gap anyway to put us into a positive position. Is that going to be a ping? No, very generous there. Of course, the Chris Nissen lottery continues. This time round, where will Chris be? Oh, he's not in the tri-oval. He ain't in tri-oval. He ain't at pit exit. Oh, it's fruity. Oh, he's there. That's slightly terrifying. Has somebody checked on poor Chris Nissen? He could be having some sort of medical emergency, you know. He could be diabetic. Okay, let's not do that car. I know I bent your rear suspension, but you don't have to be such a prude. You can try and at least drive properly, right? No, don't do that again. See, now it's just being naughty with me and acting up and trying to be all sort of, I don't want to do what you tell me to do, but well, you are. You just have to live with the fact that I bent your rear suspension a bit. So the Christmas lottery continues. He is where? Oh, do we have a pit caller? I'm very confused by the position swap that we are seeing. I don't rotate. Oh, there's Chris. He's gone a bit further. That's good for that lad. Way, yay. Curbs, bad. We know that now. We're not going to touch more curbs. Okay, we're going to do that though. Alright. It's a bit of an exploration trip for us now. This car, of course, isn't feeling superbly good. But I bloody well hope that more people will pit. At least we're getting the 6 points for pole position. Also, a minor detail that I'm not a particularly big of a fan of here. The arrow right there is not illuminated as it should be. It should be a flashing yellow arrow like a traffic advisor sitting up there running, pointing inwards. There should be one at the first turn as well when you come round the tri-oval. They always catch me out on the coverage of the Daytona 24 simply as I think, oh, safety car. No, just the arrow. So I think he's actually moving further around the... in the fence. Oh, he's knocked down some of the advertising holdings. Good on you! Down with capitalism! That's positive. We're not losing that much in Sector 2. Mostly because he's very fast. That's just the first part of the Speedway. So we lose a lot of time on the infield. Purely because the rear suspension's fucked. And it's not as drivable in there. it does stuff like that, for example, which is less than what you want to feel. And there's these weird slides right here, for example, as well. So 10 to go, 10 to go. Still sitting in last, but I'm still not 100% sure people have pitted yet. So this is still wide open. I suppose you learn a bit of smoothness when you drive like this, because obviously you can't be rough and aggressive with the inputs here. So it says as he does that. Oh, there's Chris. Hello, Chris. Oh, why are we doing this now? Come on. So that looks weird. I mean, Walter Röll, I would assume, has retired now, seeing as he's been down there for a long old time. Oh. Yeah, Ando didn't get to bed on time last night because YouTube recommended me a Japanese game show that involved people getting hit in the balls if they guessed wrong when they had to blind eat noodles. Hard to explain that one. The first round was even weirder because like it was teams of like 2 and one guy was answering questions, the other one was in like one of those gynecologist chair things, and every time the question answerer got a question wrong, they'd move the chair closer until he's being forcibly teabagged. Yes, that was, yes, genuinely some of the funniest things I've seen in a long while. Oh, plane! That's neat. Is that near an airport? Must be. Otherwise there wouldn't be a bloody big plane over there, would there now? Whoa! Now, it does feel like the game's being generous by not giving me a mechanical black flag here. Because pretty much I'm sure I should kind of get one. Just for being a danger to everybody else out here now. I mean, Keke and Klaus are getting closer and closer as the car just makes weird behaviour moves. So that's certainly an issue. And he's obviously slippery down on the apron. And this car might be a bit more drivable if it wasn't an H pattern. This kind of damage feels like it will be more drivable with the paddle shifter, because you've got both hands on the wheels at the same time all the time. So some of this weird handling behavior does come from being one-handed on the wheels some of the time. So yeah, we pretty much just have to look forward to race 2 at the moment. Just hope that somebody at some point is going to pit for us. But temperature-wise, we haven't suffered. I mean, it makes sense, it's a front-ended car. Ignore the graphic. It's just generically down there. Nothing to do with the actual engine placement. Front-engined, of course. It's actually based on... It looks like a Formula 1 car. Although I don't know what a modern Formula 1 car is doing in a motorsport simulator. Because that's not sport anymore, is it? I mean, that was genuinely shocking, genuinely disgusting mismanagement by race control. I'm not batting either horse. I have no particular favourites or fandom with either one of the drivers. I certainly don't like Red Bull. I think they're a toxic team, but that mostly due to their team principles. And yeah, like Helmut Marko and Christian Horner has no place in Formula 1 as far as I'm concerned with their behaviour. They should absolutely be kicked out. And they had a prime opportunity to do that with Horner at Qatar when he blamed a marshal, but they sadly didn't take it, as far as I'm concerned. But what we saw at the weekend, first of all, Sergio Perez, absolute brilliant job. 100% what he should do. Team player, 100% roast cleanly. Absolutely fine. Good stout defence driving right there. That is, it was a delight to see someone race that committed. I wouldn't say aggressively, but he was very clear and he was very much racing, doing everything fairly, didn't put a foot wrong in his fight with Hamilton. Absolutely fine. 10 out of 10 for him. Absolutely top job. That was, I was just going, yeah, that is excellent. He's now showing why he is in that car, why Red Bull has chosen him over everybody else they've had in that musical chairs car. Max Verstappen, clearly, I mean, right, let's start lap 1 where he forced off Hamilton, and then Waitley had a moan on the radio about the fact that he wasn't supposed to give the position back. Listen, if you're going to force somebody off the track, they're not going to give you the position. You know? They gave back, they perceived advantage gained by running off track. But frankly, you should be very lucky you weren't given a drive-through for that. And it's, again, time penalties, 5-10 seconds. In no way fit the crime. They have no place. They should be abolished as far as I'm concerned, because they have no impact on the race. You can drive yourself clear of that. It is not possible, pretty much, in modern Formula 1 racing, to drive yourself out of a drive-through, a 30-second penalty to that effect. That is what it is. Max Verstappen made an aggressive move that didn't work out. It's a move we've seen him do plenty of times before. And also, to that whole debacle, I'm going to get a ping now. No, wow, nice. But to that whole debacle, had there been a wall on the outside of that turn, they would have ended up in the fence and Hamilton would have been world champion. Because precedents say that if you cause a collision in the final race in that manner where you force somebody off the track, that is a disqualification. It is having all your points removed as per Schumacher. So that's again the thing. I can see why, under the given circumstances, lap 1, plenty of runoff there, why you could say, alright, listen, you made a foul there, but he was able to get away with it and recover without, you know, any dramas. So that is what it is. That's again Verstappen driving within the rules that has been set out for him. As we know, precedence again from Brazil, although we can't call it the Brazil Grand Prix, I've been reminded. You know, we now know there's precedence there. You know, not investigating that. Oh, we're rotating, we're going, she's going. She's going. We're going to get lapped here, are we? Yeah, we are. But yeah, precedents say that that move would not be investigated, although, again, they've now set since that it will not be tolerated if it happened again. But the fact of the matter is that Verstappen didn't have the speed. He wasn't fast enough in that race. He was not the fastest driver in that race. And yet he won, and that is wrong. It is not his fault. It is not the fault of Red Bull. I will give Red Bull a lot of shit. I will give Max Verstappen a lot of criticism. But they did everything, apart from that lap 1 move, everything they did was right. They pitted under that safety car, which they are privileged to do. That is their right, they're privileged to pit. You could argue that Hamilton should have pitted. They clearly thought they wouldn't have a chance to go back under racing, which I would agree with, but that be what it is. The real issue here, is race control not doing what they say they're going to do. If race control is going out saying, okay, We are not going to let any lap cars through. We just need to get this race back underway. Because let's keep in mind, lap cars in F1, a blue flag means you are compelled to give place. They have to let them through, like I did there. They have no choice but to do that. I get a drive-through, so they'll be out of the way immediately, and they would have had a chance to race it out. The problem is, they were not racing on the same terms. If there was a desire, and there was, and I can understand the point, even if I don't necessarily agree with it, that you want it to finish under green, if at all possible. But then you red flag the race, and you give them a chance to change tyres and make amends to their cars, so that we can get a last lap dash. What you don't do is say don't allow lap cars past and then only allow the cars between the two championship contenders through. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not sport. The championship this year in Formula 1 was not decided by the drivers. It was decided by Michael Massey. That's wrong. Now, I've been fed up with Formula 1 for pretty much since Brazil, when they weren't investigating that move and it was clear that Formula 1 wasn't a sport. It was more about, I don't know, creating the entertainment, but about the narrative of building up a championship challenger. You know, that's going to challenge the status quo, who will be coming in here, and I'm not going to say favoritism, because I don't think it is. I think it's the leniency in their desire to have that fight for the championship, which led to the failings we've seen this year in race control, and I've absolutely ballsed this up massively now. And I've been thinking for a long while now that Michael Massey's done. I keep hearing, oh yeah, it's another nail in his coffin. Well, that coffin has been nailed shut for a very long time. I think, you know, him following procedure went out the window at Saudi Arabia. Now, I wasn't watching the final F2 race there, but I had a mate that was messaging me throughout. I was watching Bathurst. Because why would I watch some shitty race in a shitty despot country when I could watch Bathurst, which is like awesome. I was getting updates, and they apparently said that the session would not be resumed, and then immediately opened the pits for them to form up again on the grid. Why, easy girl. How does that work? You've just said session won't be resumed. If session won't be resumed and you said that, it won't. And also the whole mafia negotiating thing. I got a deal for you, my friend. No. There are set procedures that need to be followed in these situations. They clearly haven't been followed this year. Michael Massey seems to have parked the stewards now, and he's now being the arbiter of justice in Formula 1. And I'm sorry, but with the combinations of the toxic environment that Formula 1 has become with Red Bull, being the chief antagonizers in that respect, to the places we go to, and you look at the money that's coming into the sport, partly through the places we go to and the sponsors they're bringing in, to the sporting side, which again, it's not a sport. I mean, again, whoa, thank you. As I said, I was fed up with Formula 1 at Brazil. I wasn't intending to watch more races, but I ended up feeling like, alright, I've gone in this far of the season, so I'm going to stick it out to the end to see it through. I cancelled my F1 subscription and all of that, because I like having the live timing. It's actually very useful. And you get a bit more team radio, and that's nice. And I think Massey's opening himself up for more scrutiny and criticism by allowing communications to be broadcast this season, starting in Baku. But frankly, he's not been up to the job for a long while, and I'm sorry, that was just the ultimate proof. was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, we've gone again. That rear suspension's absolutely knackered. But yeah, that. Yep. Through you go. But yeah, you know, it's just... I like sport. I watch motorsport because it's a sport. And Bathurst, the best car won. Like, they were the best drivers. They were clearly the best drivers all day. I mean, Lee Holdsworth, for crying out loud, the co-driver set the fastest lap. That's how bloody good they were. They had a delamination. They came back from that and they won in a race that did hardly feature a safety car in the first 2/3 of the race. We got to what, lap 100? With just one safety car? It was astonishing. And they were clearly just the best all weekend. And they won. And yeah, that's what I want to see. And we didn't get that in Formula 1. Hamilton was comfortably in the lead. It was clear to see every shot they did of the crowd showed them being like, oh, Verstappen's lost. And then, why am I still going? Okay. I mean, there's no point really carrying on here because I'm not going to gain any positions. So let's just retire to the pit box. Because, yeah, right, let's just do that and skip to the end. But yeah, I mean, again, I knew from Brazil when that was just done and made clear that was okay. It wasn't the sport anymore. And I'm just done with that. Because there's so much more racing out there that's actually... See, this is what I want to see. We've now dropped position. Wolfgang Herold, Alan Cadini has jumped us. Johnny Cicotto has only gained a couple of points. Klaus Ludwig sitting down there as well. He's gaining. Bernd Schneider as well. So we need to get our grips together here now. Our grips together? Yes, that's definitely what we need to do. We need to get our act together, however. I like to drink. I forgot to see how long it took to do. Can I capture that over there? No, I can't. So, yes, indeed, a Balzac to me. So, yes, that was race 1 at the Daytona. And then presumably on, yeah, it will have to be Saturday. We'll be doing Salvador. Because Sunday, there's a handball finale I've got to see, presumably. It's a bit early to say, but it pretty much indicates in that direction. Which will be good. Anyway, yes, next race, we're racing a bit earlier on here. Starting off with another 10-minute qualifying session. And again, real weather has been set for that date. That's a wrong date that I didn't mean to set because that's significantly in the future from race 1. But it's too late to change now. So we'll just roll with it. And, oh, it's even worse now, isn't it? Are we doing practice here? Can we just confirm what we're doing? We're doing free practice. Right, okay. We're definitely not doing that because we've just done that. So let's skip to the end, shall we? So that was good. Well done. I mean, Harnett, that Paraguayan driver? I say sounding very... Because I think that's a Paraguayan flag, you know. But yeah, thunderstorm soaked. So qualifying here, now again a 10-minute affair. We'll see us on the old wet tyres. So let's just shift our focus back away from F1 to this. I mean, as far as F1 is concerned, I can only say, you know, I mean, fair play to Max Verstappen. Again, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't as everybody feared a contact between the two that decided the championship this year. It was race control, and yeah, with Max, you know, he put himself in a position to do this. He was definitely way over the line. As I've heard multiple people say, they brought out the best and the worst in each other. And that's true. And you have to say, early on, Lewis Hamilton was sublime in a car that, frankly, was slower than the Red Bull. Now, I have a suspicion that Merck turned down their engines. I've heard this theory that Merck turned down their engines until they figured out the issues they were having early on in the season were fixed, and why both drivers ended up taking a couple of engine penalties just to test it out and see if it's true. Starting off with Bottas. And then with Hamilton taking 2 engines, and why they found so much pace, they turned them down, they ran them conservatively, didn't press through them until they figured out what their problems were. That's why they were comparatively slower in the early part of the season, is my working theory. But again, I don't know. So the fact that Hamilton again took a win in Bahrain, and I want to say he also won the second race, because I seem to remember talking to a friend of mine about it, and I said that this is Hamilton's going to win it this year because he won the early races that he, quite frankly, was Red Bull races, but they got it wrong. Now Hamilton did have a fumble at Baku and messed up there, and again, had he finished that race grabbing 25 points, what would have been likely 25 points if he hadn't put all the brake bias forwards and locked up the fronts and gone off in turn 1 on the last lap restart, which is just again a last lap sounding restart because of course that's what we're doing these days. Awful. Anyway, focus here. Let's do a lap in the very wet at Daytona. Is he going to allow this? Ooh, we're off massively wide here at the end. There's going to be room for improvement. Oh, it's much wetter than in the previous qualifying session. Holy crap. I've also just made sure that I haven't accidentally selected like one slick tyre, which I had done before, not in this car, but in the DPI, at a race that I did. I ended up selecting 3 wet tyres, or rather 2 wet tyres, I don't remember, but I certainly had at least 1 or 2 slick tyres on the car, which you can imagine wasn't beneficial. I couldn't understand why I couldn't get the rear temperatures up at all. Until I was like, oh, I'm on rear slicks. That could be why it was. But yeah, there's definitely room for improvement here. Let's just focus here on getting these laps in. Was it like a hurricane hitting or something? Because it feels like it's quite windy. But we can see that once we've done either this lap or the next. Depending on where... Oh, look at... Oh, lightning. Look at this. Oh. That's not nice. It's getting quite hard to see, actually. Now, I am getting somewhat concerned about the rest of the circuits that we're going to. I know they updated Watkins Glen and Cleveland to have standing starts. But it does raise some questions about the other circuits that we're going to. So we could have another bloody messy start next time out at Salvador. And then the following time at VIR. But we shall have to wait and see. They've also added in real weather data for Cleveland and Watkins Glen, but obviously this championship was set up before that, so I can't be using that. Let's just focus it. Oh, look at this, so wet. That was a surreal feeling I went from the wheel pulling me to the right to then pulling to the left as we entered the banking. That felt surreal. Oh, this is not good. It's so difficult to drive in these conditions. We might have to go for another lap here. Let's just wait and see as we come across a line. Yeah, because as fast running, as I said, I haven't done it this week because I've been lazy. I've been back to work. It's, you know, it's not nice. But I need to do that. But I also need to match up so I go running next Friday because, I mean, I can go running on the 24th. That's before we eat. But on the 25th, oh, that's not likely to happen, is it? All that food in board. Like the 25th is such a lazy day. At least that's kind of been the tradition here for me and my family. Because you've got everything on the 24th, and then the 25th is kind of like going, oh, I'm so fat today. Yeah, and again, like, I'm starting a 2-week vacation on Friday again, so I can't complain too much about work. Whoa, we've gone. We've gone. Yeah, we're starting well down the order here because we can't make it round for another lap. So we'll just return here and skip to the end. And just wait and see. Yeah, down in 18th. See, that's absolutely no good. But it's just so bloody wet. So, where are we? It's just moist. So that's a positive. Oh, now it seems like the cars have actually lined up properly here. Gee fucking Christ! I am sorry. But it does seem it's a bit of a legacy from the qualifying session there with Thunder, because that plane it shouldn't have been there. So let's just set up here, slickies, and 11 laps of fuel. That'll be about right. Then we go back in here, and then we go slick, 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 and we go racing. This track really isn't suited for standing starts. Let's go down here on the apron. It doesn't count, by the way, on the 24-hour layout. That's only a thing for NASCAR. Apologies, Chris. I know you had a shocking race 1. Well, contact, contact, contact. I said I'm in harness. Contact again. That was my fault. Oh, hello. That's felt a while. Oh, hello, Kurt. There's a very niche joke I can do about him that very few Danes will even get. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Kurt just stopped by, everybody. Way. Going behind Ellen Law, and out onto Speedway Turn 1. Through Speedway Turn 2. Oh, it is moist. There are wet patches, you know. Not what you want to see when you go through the bus stop. From under the car in front is a big old puddle. Oh yeah, look at those front tyre temperatures. Although I am disappointed. Another 69 Boo. Boo, I say. Boo. Oh, that's not what you want to see. Guys, hey! So we got our work cut out. At least we did that on lap 2. We just spun, we didn't bend the car. That's a bit too hard though. We've hit His Majesty Leopold Prince von Bayern, heir apparent to the Bavarian throne. So if you're just joining us, we are at Daytona, but it's not NASCAR, even though, oh boy, this looks like NASCAR. I am aware, but we are all German cars here. And if there were even any faults, it would be a Sierra Cosworth. Which, yes, that does sound eminently fantastic. And yes, I absolutely want to see the Cossie in here. 100%. It's just me overdriving there. Okay, this is a short race, so we need to be sensible here. We need to actually make up time early doors. The AI always gets such a good run out of the cut through and onto the Speedway, which just make it a bit harder to do. But I will try and convert our pegs into position later on. Again, we just got to hang with these guys now. Because when they start pitting, I'll have a clear lap and I'll be able to make up time rather than be held up with these guys. So that's always a positive. No takers here on lap 3. It is such a hard corner to brake for because you are turning. So you really have to balance the car under brakes. So that is a very technical first corner section for a 24-hour circuit. Right to the limit. hope you're all doing well out there with COVID and whatnot, because, blimey, things are moving rapidly, aren't they? That's dreadful. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm starting a 2-week vacation on Friday. Well, rather, I am intending on starting a 2-week vacation on Friday, but I'd have to be lying if I said I wasn't expecting to have more than that off by the end. Just, yeah, just seems like, fortunately, another old lockdown seems pretty inevitable right now, to be honest. But you know, I can kind of take a leave. I'm not excited. I'm not super disappointed. I'm just like, okay, yeah, we're doing this now. Got it. Anyway, that's how it was like the first 2 times. I'll try and put, you know, or try to put a positive spin on it by being like, oh yeah, I'm being paid to play video games and whatnot. But, you know, I think ultimately you have to try in these situations to try and look for the positives. And yes, if you had told me, age 15, that I would spend half a year, pretty much 5 months, being paid, to play video games, then I wouldn't have believed you. But that was the case. We're losing touch here. That's because I'm bloody overdriving the thing. Why is it doing this now? Come on. Because we're losing touch here. We can't really afford to. It might be too softly sprung through there. The weight might be moving too much. But of course, I mean, we had 2 wet qualifyings here, so we could have rain interfering in the race. It is real weather, after all. That is all. Okay, we're doing that. Okay. I think I'm overdriving again. And by I think I mean I am definitely overdriving. I need to brake earlier, let the car settle off the brakes before I turn in. See again, proof that I'm not a good tester. This car felt perfectly fine during testing. And now I feel I've gone the wrong way, or gone too far in the opposite direction rather, with the diff. I'm not a tester. I don't test very well. I don't drive in tests like I do in a race. Plane! Big plane! Don't go! Nope. 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 Definitely don't do that. I forgot to move the... Oh, gee whiz. We had too much brake balance moved forward, so then we locked the fronts. That might be a ping. No, of course, because I didn't pit. Haha! Disregard that, we'll come in later. We might have to try and extend here. See, I've done a few races around here before where it felt like I had the AI difficulty set up, but then again I just didn't. Let's put this time by. We'll get the fuel in, we'll get back out. And then we'll at the very least have some tyre temperatures up if we do end up catching people here in the pit cycle. And then just a quick repair job to fix up that little bit of front damage. And now we're fueled until the end. It remains to be seen if we can actually catch anyone. That's not what we need to be doing, however. There we go. Or maybe I gave myself too many clutches. I moved it from 2 to 4 clutches. So let's just go on with it now. I mean, this is bloody pretty as well. As the sun's setting, the floodlights haven't come on yet. I might have gone too far in the other direction, rather, with the diff. It does feel like it's now... Oh, don't do that. It does feel like it's slightly lighting up the inner wheel now, which it wasn't doing before. The issue before, I think, was that it was sending too much power to the wheel with the most grip. So the outside wheel. Which is why I had some issues with the revs on exit. Now it seems like I'm lighting up the inner wheel, which might be the clutches. Let's sit back, relax your shoulders. Feel good, comfortable. Again, tyre temperatures are fine. We're not seeing any issues there. See, I did set it up like a mandatory pit stop, right? Because I'm just assuming that I did. That's why I took the pit stop. But I've got egg all over me face if I didn't. But hey, at least we've done some laps around Daytona in beautiful weather conditions here. It'd be neat if those lights came on right now. Plane! Remember to brake earlier so you don't trail brake and go sideways. That is a crucial corner where I don't need to have any issues. See, I'm vulnerable now if it starts to rain. I've already done my mandatory pit stop. But, you know, we all take our chances. Better, but not by much. Massively to break myself there. Stay where you are, gear selector. When are the AI gonna pit, please? Come on. This is bloody torture. See, there's the power of braking in time, not trail braking. Is also the not power in being on the throttle too early. Could you guys pit, please? I think they have, because times are looking awfully weird again. So this could be crucial now to see where everybody stacks out. I mean Speedway turn 2, NASCAR turn 2. If they're in the pits now, they're definitely going to still be ahead of me, and that's bad. But yeah, it's a very weird championship, this, because we've not hit a real racetrack yet, and we're only really doing that when we start the endurance rounds. Because we started off at Long Beach, which is a temporary street circuit. We then went to Montreal, which, I mean, I suppose that is, but it's sort of like a parkland circuit, so I suppose that is a proper circuit. But now we're here, which isn't a proper road racing circuit. It feels like we're kind of stuck in no man's land again. It feels like they're getting closer each lap through this sector. We just kind of had a hope that they picked. I mean, let's have a moment here and have a bit of a look-see to see. Oh, we can't actually see pit status here, can we? No, we cannot. So, just assume. I know the final standings you can, but obviously we couldn't there, so, Because that would have been a massive cock-up on my part if I took a pit stop. I didn't need to. That's put us right out of it. Wow. That was bad. Oh my god, has nobody pitted yet? I'm starting to worry that I've taken a pit stop I didn't need to and thus taken myself out of the race. Oh, they're not pitting, are they? They really are not pitting. So I should have gone just with the full fuel load at the start of the race. And then we might have been somewhere now. But as it stands, it's just been a massive waste of time. Isn't that great? I mean, it's basically just been a test session. That's all it's been. That's what it feels like anyway. Nobody's in the pit in again. Nope. At the very least last time we were kind of racing people, you know? Unless they're just waiting until the very last lap collectively, but in the previous races I've done, the AI has spaced the pit stops out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, what's going on now with the standings? It's just having a right old freak out. We're dropping cars. Why are we dropping cars? What's happening? What's happening here, guys? What is currently happening? Is it calculating them out because they're in the pits and it's weird here? It might be. It might be. We might have had a true Daytona style big one. So let's see here. Have they all pitted on the last lap? Are there now dozens of cars in the pits? Oh yes, there's people in the pits. What's going on? Why are they all sitting there now? What's the dealio? So, okay, that certainly changed things. If we're up to 14th now. Don't know quite why that is the case. Because we should definitely not be in 14. But I'll take the point. You know, that's not the issue here. The issue is sort of the oddballs of what's going on here. I've just been running on my own, which is awfully disappointing, really. But, yeah, there's not a lot I can do about that. Apologies. I was expecting it to be far more than it was. But on Saturday, which is the plan right now anyway, we will be going to Salvador. And then the plan is, and the plan is very much still a working plan here. The plan is to do VIR on Monday, but again it remains to be seen. We finished down here, we've got 21 points, so that's a positive step anyway, and we're down to 5th down here. Klaus Ludwig is moving up ahead, so we definitely need to get our grip together. But again, it is starting to look a lot like a Mercedes Championship. We occupy top 5 at the moment. And I forgot to check the standings, of course, in terms of pit stops. But this has been Automobilista 2. And let's just confirm again that we've got Salvador coming up as the next round. Indeed we do. 44 laps, but it is significantly shorter. It is another 240 round. 2 round races. And then we've got Virginia, a 500 kilometre race. Then we've got Watkins Glen, a 1,000 kilometre race. Cleveland, a 600 kilometre race. And Laguna Seca for another 240 race. We are sitting now P5, but I feel better now because I've made it to the end of one of those races, and technicality that made me retire in another race. So yeah, right, whilst we're not doing too hot in terms of points, I think my performance here was slightly better. So thank you for watching. I'll be back on, if all things go as planned, Saturday for the next round. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.